Hey everybody, welcome back. For this final lesson in how to sew the yoga pants, I want to show you an easy hem technique using your sewing machine and a twin needle. The reason why I'm not doing this on the serger, as I mentioned at the end of the last video, is I know not everybody has a cover hem machine. If you do have a machine that has a cover hem stitch, you're going to fold your fabric up and pin it the same way, and then you can go ahead and do it on your serger if you'd like to. But if you want to try this way, it works really well. It creates a nice stretchy hem. Let me show you. I've already done one of the legs, and you can see I can really stretch this. Okay, and I can stretch it this way too. Okay, it's not going to pop. So a twin needle is really your friend when you're working with knit fabrics and you're doing hemming, especially if you don't have a cover stitch on your serger. All right, before I get going showing you how to do this quick hem, let me just show you what a twin needle looks like. I have a bunch of them right here. Just turn it this way so you can see. The one that I put in the machine is a stretch twin needle, and it's a 4mm needle, which means the tips of the needles are 4mm apart. That's almost a 1/4 inch. I also have a jeans or denim twin needle, so they do come in different varieties. Then I've got a 3mm all-purpose, 2.5, 2, and then a 1.6, which makes a really narrow row of stitching. So just know that you can get these twin needles in a variety of different sizes and in different types for different kinds of fabrics. For the knits, we're going to want to use the stretch twin needle. The cool thing is you insert it into your sewing machine as you would a regular needle. So there's no, you don't have to do anything funny when you're putting the needle in. But a few precautions when you're setting up the machine is you want to make sure that you're not using your straight stitch plate. Some machines come with a plate that just has a single hole. If you're using that, trade it for the zigzag plate, which has the oval. Okay, and I'll show you that when I show you the machine. So you want to make sure that you do that. You want to make sure you have your machine set at a straight stitch with the needle in the center position, because of the width of those needles, you don't have a lot of wiggle room either way. And I'll show you that when I get to the machine as well. So those are the two particulars that you need to worry about on your machine. I just want to tell you up front in case you jump to do it before I get there. I'm just going to show you the inside of this. Where I started and stopped, what I did was I just teased all of the threads to the wrong side. And then I'm just going to tie this into a knot, and I'm going to dot it with fray check. That's how I'm going to finish the seam. But what I also want to show you is I turned the hem under about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so for this second hem, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn that hem under about 3/4 of an inch like this, and I'm going to pin it from the right side so I can see the edge of the fabric. So there's my 3/4. And I'm just going to pin along that very edge. So you can see like that pin is within, a scant 1/8 of an inch of the edge. And I'm just going to go around and I'm just going to pin it and even around. So as I go, I'm just going to peek to make sure. I am eyeballing it because it's a knit. But if you want to measure, measure. Notice I'm not using any double-sided tape on this hem, and the reason why is because I want to have it be the maximum amount of stretch as possible, and anything you adhere to the fabric is going to reduce the stretch. And because this has to go over the calf, to fit onto your leg, and especially if you made a snug-fitting opening to your yoga pants, you don't want anything keeping it from stretching, because that won't be comfortable. And then if it can't stretch and you sew it like that and then it does stretch, you'll pop stitches. So I've just got it turned under, okay, all the way around about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the sewing machine. Let's do that. So a few things. The cool thing is you can do this technique on the simplest of machines. As long as you have the oval the stitch plate with the oval opening, and let me just point that out to you. It's right here. See how that's a big oval? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. If you've got a straight stitch plate, see how this plate just has 2 holes? That would not work well for a twin needle because you know, you might end up hitting that. You know, you want to use the one that has the open oval. Make sure you're not using your straight stitch plate. The other thing is I want to use the free arm, and on most machines, not machines that are a flat bed, but most machines have an accessory tray that comes off. Okay, so see how that comes off and it makes room here. This is an 11,000, so it also has the embroidery unit in the back, but you can take off this little piece right here. Okay, so you can make a free arm. And that will allow me to sew from the right side of the fabric without worrying about catching anything underneath. So I'm going to slide this leg onto my free arm like this. And I'm going to start right near the inseam. Okay, so I'm going to put it so my presser foot is, the outside edge of my presser foot is about 1/8 of an inch away from the fold. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start, I'm going to take this pin out, and I'm just going to start stitching. I have increased my stitch length to about 3 millimeters, so it's not so short. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to hold the fabric kind of taut from the front and the back, and I'm going to start stitching. Okay, and then I'll go a little bit farther, and then I'll stretch it out, and I'll stretch some more. Stretching it as you sew is going to build in more stretch in this hem. I'm not pulling it to its maximum, I'm just stretching it out gently. So see, just from the front and the back. All right, so as I get to my start point, I'm just going to overlap that about 1/4 of an inch. All right, the reason why I want to overlap about 1/4 of an inch is because I want to tease the tails to the wrong side to tie a knot. And as you tease them to the wrong side, you might unsew the last couple of stitches in both directions. So I'm just going to make sure that I overlap about 1/4 an inch. And as I get past the tails, I'm going to move them out of the way so I'm not stitching them down more than I need to. You can even hand walk it with the hand wheel. See how I'm just walking it with my hand? Just a few stitches, maybe 4 stitches. All right, then I'm going to take it out. Okay, so you can see here I have this really nice hem that's stretchy. All right, and I haven't even steamed it yet, so when it's all steamed and we've tied the knot, it's going to look really great. All right, so that's a really easy method to hem your yoga pants using your sewing machine. And you know, keep in mind you can do it with the cover hem if you have that stitch on your serger. If you have any questions or comments about this technique or any of the things I've shown you, please feel free. I'm more than happy to help you. And you know, if you're sewing with my patterns, I just want to thank you because I know there are so many choices out there, so many talented independent pattern designers. I feel honored that you've decided to work with one of my patterns. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.